So, Mr. Howe has spoken ahead of the Manchester United match on Monday. He spoke about injuries, COVID, and VAR. So, let's have a look what the gaffer had to say in his press conference.
Take me home to the banks of the riverside. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best. Yes, it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the riverside.
Hi everybody, I'm Paul, back again with another video, and today it is of course press conference reaction. Eddie Howe has spoken to the media ahead of the game with some very interesting points on VAR and all the stuff going on with COVID at the moment. So originally he said we have a few players that are still out. Federico Fernandez, Paul Dummett and Jamal Lewis will all miss the game, but hopefully we'll have Emil Kraft and Javi Manquillo back from illness. So not confirmed whether they were COVID. I don't think they actually were. He certainly didn't mention COVID when talking about those players returning. But he did say that Jamal Lewis isn't as bad as first thought, but we'll come on to that shortly. On the COVID cases, he said, we have a clean bill of health currently, and we're going through our testing every day. With the current infection rate around the country, we're doing well at the moment to stay clear of it. So that's very, very good news. Of course, Man United have had a COVID outbreak themselves a couple of weeks ago, which resulted in some games being cancelled. But luckily for us, we haven't been hit by it. We did get hit by it, of course, the first time around. But this time, hopefully, fingers crossed, everything is going as planned for the game on Monday. On fixture postponements, he went on to say, I've always said I want to play. My point has been that for the benefit of the league, you want a level playing field. It's a tough challenge for the Premier League with the postponements, but the integrity of the competition is fundamental. Now, what he means by that is, obviously, teams getting an advantage of an extra layoff for a certain amount of players. That's what Eddie Howe doesn't want to happen. He doesn't want certain teams getting loads of games in hand, like Burnley have at the moment. I think they've got about 3 games in hand on us. But speaking personally, I would rather have the games done and dusted. I wouldn't like to have to play those games still, especially when the pressure's on you down the bottom end of the league. I'd rather have the games played, done and dusted, and out the way. Now, hopefully, fans will still be allowed in the stadium come Monday. Fingers crossed nothing's going to change on that. I think it would be extremely unfair if we have to stay away from the game when all the Boxing Day fixtures, or the ones that are going ahead, the fans are allowed into the ground. So it's going to be very interesting to see, but I think by the time Monday comes along, it should be too late by my calculations to even attempt to keep the supporters away. Now, one Jamal Lewis said earlier that he didn't think he'd be out too long. I don't think it'll be too long. It's not a major injury, but it's enough to keep him out of the festive period and some games in early January. Hamstring strains are usually 3 to 4 weeks minimum, and I think that's probably where he'll be. Now, I was at the Liverpool game when he unfortunately suffered the injury, going down the left-hand side. He immediately pulled up with his hamstring, and you've got to be very, very careful on these kind of injuries, because we've seen with Callum Wilson in the past, any kind of muscle injury and you rush back from injury, and it just makes things 10 times worse. So I think they'll be taking care of Jamal Lewis and bring him back slowly. Now on VAR, he says when VAR was introduced, I think it was used regularly to try and get the right decision, because that's what we were all after. I think the use has been diluted, and I don't see it effectively intervening as much as it did in a positive way. And I tend to agree with Eddie on this one. We've seen the last 3 games, VAR decisions, or lack of VAR decisions, going against us, which has led to a lot of conspiracy theories and things like that the league are against us, etc. I did a video on that the other day. Everything that's happened to us in the last few weeks, you can totally see where Eddie Howe is coming from, because it's a disgrace. The lack of VAR for Sunday's incident with Ryan Fraser, certainly the one at Liverpool, and of course Maddison's dive. How that was not overruled because he took a dive, I do not know. Although some people will say, well, we do know because there's corruption going on, but it's a different kettle of fish. But from Eddie Howe's point of view, he's in a really difficult situation because he can't say too much, because the league will come down on him like a ton of bricks. We know they will. You badmouth anything, whether it be referees, VAR, whatever it may be, you will get done by the league if you speak out of turn about them. So he has to be very, very careful. And I think the way he's put it there, he's been very careful what he's saying, because I think he would really like to say what he really feels, but can't. Now on Federico Fernandez, he says it's a difficult one to put a timescale on, but it's weeks rather than months. We'll wait and see how he responds. He's definitely going to be out of the Christmas period most of January, but he's working hard and improving every day. Now, we've seen the manager come out numerous times and praise Federico Fernandez. Now, I know this is with regards to an injury. However, he's always spoke very highly of Fernandez, but never seemed to put him in the team. He was forced into putting him in against Norwich. He had a cracking game, man of the match, and then all of a sudden he's dropped again for the captain coming back, which a lot of people were totally against. Now, we know Eddie Howe is a big fan of Jamal Lascelles. I have no idea why, but a defender like Federico Fernandez is somebody we need in the team when he's fit, without a shadow of a doubt, because he is probably one of the best defenders at the club. There is no doubt in my mind about that, and hopefully when he's fit again, he'll be back. But will he be sold in January? You know, is this whatever it is behind the scenes going on with Fernandez, and maybe it's Jones, I don't know. We've never been told of anything about that, but if there is something going on behind the scenes, it needs sorting, because the club is bigger than any sort of rift amongst the coaching staff. But we'll see what happens in the future with Fernandez. He went on then to talk about the festive schedule finally, and he said, we'll ask the players to follow the guidelines, but we also want them to enjoy their Christmas, the human beings, and we want them to enjoy their time with their loved ones and look forward to a great game against Manchester United. They'll train individually on Christmas Day. The way the week has gone, we have trained and prepared, but with the game being a day later, we think it's right and within our schedule to let them spend Christmas with their families. They will be working just in an individual way. Brilliant gesture from the manager, to be honest, because, you know, it is a very, very built-up schedule. There is absolutely no doubt about that. And we know from years gone by that Christmas is a very tough period, no matter who you play for. But I think with regards to Eddie Howe, you know, he's seen that the games are piling up, the games that we've already played as well. It's very, very difficult for the players, and especially with all the COVID business going on, not knowing if they're going to be playing or not playing, the matches postponed or whatever. We just don't know. So it's a difficult time for the management, players, fans as well, because, like I said earlier, are we going to get banned out of the stadiums again? Who knows? But all in all, again, a very, very positive press conference from Eddie Howe. This is what we like to see from the manager. Now, obviously, Monday's game is going to be very, very tough. It's going to be tough. Man United are a very good side when they're on form. New manager in Ralph Rangnick, who was once, of course, linked with the club when the takeover went through as our director of football, but that didn't happen. So it'll be very interesting to see what sort of side Rangnick puts out. Of course, Man United haven't played for so long. So are they going to be fresh, or are they going to be still, you know, a little bit under the weather because of the COVID strike that they've had? You know, so it'll be very interesting to see how they're up for the game. But whichever way you look at it, I think out of the three games against these top sides, you know, Man City, Liverpool and Man United, then maybe we can target Man United as the one that we can maybe get something from. We have to be confident going in. We have to play well. We have to play extremely well. But we know Man United's back line is a bit weak as well, and I'm sure that Eddie Howe has addressed that. So, yeah, interesting press conference, but probably what we expected to hear, just, you know, the usual injuries, nothing too significant, no new injuries, which is a bonus for us. So we should be able to field a very decent side and see what tactics Eddie Howe goes for during the match. But if you have enjoyed the video, guys, please, as usual, do hit the like button for me. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much to all the recent subscribers. It's been brilliant. Now, if you're watching this on Thursday, is it now? I forget what day it is. If you're watching it on the Thursday, tonight at 9 p.m, of course, we have the half-term report with me and Dave. We'll be going through, looking at the results and marking the players for the first part of the season. So it should be a great show. But if not, enjoy your Christmas, guys, and I will see you very soon. Take care.